So inflation is simply a rise or an increase in the money supply. Is the United States currently inflating the money supply? Yes. What is hyperinflation? Hyperinflation is inflation gone mad. Inflation that actually outpaces the productivity of a nation. When the money supply increase outpaces the productivity of a nation, that leads to what we call hyperinflation. That's a very simplified answer, but that's what hyperinflation is. Do we have examples of hyperinflation throughout history? Sure. But one quick note before we look at these. Every single fiat currency throughout history has suffered death or collapse by hyperinflation. Ancient Greece suffered with hyperinflation, the very first documented case. Ancient Rome, tremendous amount of hyperinflation. China, flirted with paper money in the 9th century, 13th century, 15th century, have been burned by hyperinflation so many times. 1922, Austria had 134% inflation rate. 1932, Argentina had a total collapse of their currency. In 1944, Greece had an 8.5 billion % inflation rate. 1946, Hungary had a 4.19, I'm not even going to say that word, inflation rate. 1984, Israel suffered its own hyperinflation of 445%. 1990, Peru, 397%. 1993 to 94, Yugoslavia suffered the worst case of recorded hyperinflation, 5 times 10 to the 15th power. They actually had a radio program dedicated to maintaining the value of the currency, so you could dial in every 15 minutes. They would change the amount of money that money was worth. They ran out of paper in Yugoslavia because the store owners and the government were both using it. The store owners were using it to change their price tags, and the government was using it to print money. 1994, the tequila hangover, the peso crisis, total collapse in Mexico. 1997, Thailand baht, total collapse. 98, Russia, ruble, total collapse. Yeltsin, drunk, pushing the wheelbarrow full of rubles, and the worker says in the paper, we pretend to work and they pretend to pay us. 2001, the Turkish lira, total collapse. 2007, Zimbabwe, 11 million then, it's actually approaching 1 billion now, % inflation rate. Over time, the purchasing power of the US dollar has lost value. You can see just from this cute chart here from dollar days that the currency has lost 94% of its value since 1933, and even more since it was first come out. You see here the British pound. You can see this fiat currency has lost value over time. Purchasing power of the Canadian dollar since 1913, tremendously lost value. Purchasing power of the Swiss franc since 1913. And the winner is, the best performing currency of the 20th century was the Swiss franc. It only lost 80% of its value.